Alrighty. Hey everybody, I hope you're ready for a rather long one today, because we're dealing with a whole bunch of stall and fun. So, I see this team a lot, which is Conqueror, Lilias, Senya, and Choux, and it seems to be like the bane of so many people's existence. So, what I do for this team is, when this team was initially coming up a whole bunch, I started using Roana, Shadow Knight Pyllis, and I also wanted to try out Arunca a little bit. And Arunca was fun, but Arunca feels so extremely undertuned that I don't see any real reason to use her, because her niche is, oh hey, I'm the anti-barrier specialist. But even as an anti-barrier specialist, I'm just not impressed. Like, the CR push isn't really that impressive. The extra damage on for S3 onto, like, barriers is just... It's okay, but, like, God, you would expect it to, like, maybe one-tap a Choux, maybe? And then she also just happens to have Extinction. And I just look at that and I'm like, why? So, instead, now I'm trying out Alencia a little bit instead of Arunca. Arunca did indeed work, but my Alencia is a lot, and I mean a lot more tanky than Arunca is. And I do kind of like it. It feels like it's a lot more safe. So, let me go ahead and get into some of this match here. This is an extremely long and, quite frankly, kind of boring match, because the beginning of it just didn't start well. And the reason why the beginning of it didn't start well is because Conqueror Lilias went first, like you would expect, but my Pyllis was a little bit too fast. So, yeah, the Senyas and the Choux were a little slow on this team. And because of that, my opportunity to cleanse was already then and there, and I've made this mistake before where I've withhold her S3. And whenever I withhold that S3, I don't have the barrier, and that little tiny barrier sometimes makes enough of a difference where you just don't take so much extra damage. I probably don't need to do that now, so the next time I try and do this, I could probably withhold a Pyllis S3. Because, yeah, the reason why you saw this at the start, it was because Senya was taking all the abuse because, you know, Alencia and Roana both got hit by Provoke, they both got hit by Blind, so it's already been 70 turns and nothing's really happened yet. So Senya is about to die because she took all the abuse. That's not the one that I wanted to take the abuse. The one who needs the abuse is Choux here. And the reason why is because SG in their infinite wisdom have made, like, HP scaling bruisers about the most annoying shit ever to deal with. So now we just have to abuse other dumb shit to fight them, which is, in my opinion, oh yeah, it's injury. Like, what's the best way to fight something that scales all of their shit off of HP? Oh yeah, it's injury, right? So it works phenomenally well. Like, yo, we've gotten 2 turns in on Choux. She's pretty much done. Like, as soon as Alencia gets, like, those 2 turns in, Alencia's just done. I mean, Choux just done. She can't do anything. She can't deal damage. She can't do anything. And that's why, like, that first few rounds was so frustrating, because I couldn't actually do the things I wanted to do. So that's pretty much what makes this whole fight just kind of an annoying slog, and why I wasn't even talking about the fight, because quite literally nothing was happening. But if you ever are having issues with that particular comp, if you happen to have Shadow Knight, you happen to have Roana, and you have either Arunca or just some kind of green DPS, something to focus the damage onto Shadow Knight, it works phenomenally well. And also another fun thing you can do is, if you have a Zahhak, and your Zahhak is 100% crit, you can bypass those crit chances. Sure, you're not going to go through, like, anti-crit buff, but, like, for Senya, her innate 50%, you will bypass that. I do not have a Zahhak that does that. Mine is strictly damage. But, yeah, you can do that. And I've seen a lot of people have a lot of success with it. So, on to the next fun match. This is just straight up a showcase of like why Senji is quite possibly the most based unit ever. And it was because of this. So you notice how Zahhak has 2 buffs here. He has attack buff and he has speed. So he's going to kill the Mercedes. This procs the Rimuru. The Rimuru attacks him. Zahhak takes no damage, but he did not grab invincibility. So now he sees the only target that he can hit, or that's hit for him to hit, which is Krau. So now Krau has S3 available. If you take S3, we're just going to go ahead and go right into Apocalypse Ravi. Get this bitch out of here. So she doesn't have Proof of Valor, so she took full damage. That's 17k, and thankfully, it wasn't enough to really just end me. So, like, because she's only has 1 death on the team, that's not too much damage, Krau can tank that. And then Zahhak can just clean up the rest. Beautiful, pretty, absolutely adorable. I love these fucking people. Okay, so this was another pretty fun match. The thing that made this one kind of interesting is mainly just Inferno Khawazu himself. Because, like, I couldn't think of another unit to throw in that could deal with AoE shenanigans and debuff stuff. So I was like, you know what? It'll probably work. So the only thing that will really fuck me up is if Magic for Friends happens to proc. I don't think it procs in this fight. So, yeah, I haven't been AoE'd yet. I don't have Vigor. Let's go on ahead and just kill Mercedes. So now we've procced Senya. Oh no! Time to do things. And because Edward, I didn't even think about this part, but yeah, he already stripped the counter. Okay, cool. Not really a big deal, because what I was going to do was I was going to take Inferno Khawazu and just strip the Senya and kill it. Now, one thing I could have probably done is I could have used Senya to attack into the Senya. That would have then made this happen 1 turn earlier on Senya's turn. And then I would have stripped that, and I probably would have killed it. Because then she wouldn't have a barrier. So either way, I was very impressed that Senya survived. I thought I would have done way more damage considering I would have had attack buff. So, unless I'm misunderstanding how a lot of the attack buff stuff works, maybe the attack buff wasn't affecting the damage on burn because I didn't have it anymore at that point. I don't know. But anyway, on to another fantastic, awesome, amazing stall match. So, this is interesting in the sense that I go through this entire fight without using Roana's S3 once. And the reason for that is because good old Winter is there. And Winter is just such a strange case of, I am not a threat for almost the entire fight. But if you completely ignore me, I will kill somebody, is basically what I'm seeing here. So if you're not paying attention, Winter will eventually kill you, especially if you're not paying attention. But fortunately, we do have Roana here, so we'll get to that later. But the current thing that we're doing is we have Arowell here. Arowell is making this take even longer than it needs to. The Choux is absolutely not even a remote threat. So what we have to do is we have to get to Alencia's turn, which thankfully we were able to get to our turns very, very well because of Shadow Knight Pyllis being there, being able to do a cleanse, which is an attack. That does not proc Winter. In fact, we do nothing that procs Winter the entire fight. We technically could have, but we don't, which is awesome. So we've already gotten like 1 good hit in on Choux. We didn't get Death Break because, you know, this game fucking hates us. But all we have to do now is we really just hit the Choux 1 more time, and the Choux is just a non-threat. She will do nothing. But if you're not paying attention, Winter will come back and bite you in the ass. Which is almost what happened, because I straight up wasn't even thinking about her. I was just, okay, cool. I'm going to go into the Choux, and I'm eventually going to kill it, and then I'm going to start working on Arowell, and then I'll start working on Winter as soon as, like, whatever. Because I think her S3 is, like, 5 turns or some shit. It's something fucking ridiculous. And that's kind of what makes her a non-threat. Maybe if it was 4 turns, it would be a little bit more of a threat. I don't know, because, like, it shouldn't be as ramp-up as it is. I understand the whole purpose of it being ramp-up, but it's so goddamn long. But yeah, I get it. You're supposed to use Winter into units that have lots and lots of non-attack skills, which is why, like, her on defense kind of perplexes me, because it's not really scary. It can jump your heart a little bit, and you'll see why in just a second. Because I think her turn is finally coming. Like, yeah, here it is. So Roana already had damage, so she's the target. So here comes the hit on Roana, and oh fuck. Okay, that's starting to add up a little bit. So at this point, I'm like, okay, so we're at like a race against time, and I think I panic a little bit, and I'm like, oh, I gotta kill Winter now. When, in all honesty, if I just pay attention, it's not a threat. Because all you have to do is, whenever she's like down to like 1 turn or 0 turns on S3, then you just use Roana's S3. As soon as you do that, then she could possibly kill something, but you'll just revive immediately after. It's not a threat. So here I panic, I try to burn, I go for like Winter because I'm scared at that particular moment. I didn't need to be. And yeah, the fight's already over. So I've been seeing a couple of Winters on defense. It's an interesting idea, but it's not really a threat. Like, not really. Feel free to tell me in the comments how I'm wrong or whatever, but I don't know. I've seen a couple of Winters, and I'm not scared of it. Now, here's probably my favorite match of the whole game. How many times do you guys get to see Iseria and Dark Corvus? Some of you who have these units and use these units already know what the fuck's about to happen. But the fun stuff is, so yeah, now we've already reset Dark Corvus. Oh shit, guys, we have ML Huiyang. What do we do? Well, I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get fucked is what you're going to get. So that was probably the best play I could have made. Go for Cermia and basically hope I don't get a magic dual attack at any time. And pretty much everybody's going to survive. Easy. Effortlessly. So, barrier, a nice little barrier inversion, a little bit more damage. I kind of wish, I guess everybody had a barrier, because then the barrier inversion would have done something to the Cermia. But hey, cool. Let's get rid of Archdemon Mercedes. I had enough of a fucking problem with her last time. Hate that bitch. But yeah, so now we're just dealing with, you know, C. Lilias and Lermia. It's not really anything to worry about. The only thing that could go wrong now at this point is if I happen to get a dual attack, which I'm amazed it doesn't happen. Because I'm just so incredibly lucky, guys. So, yeah, you probably already see what's going on. Yeah, next chance Dark Corvus gets his turn, we're just going to kill Lermia, and this whole fight's already over. But yeah, tons and tons of fun when you get an opportunity to use Dark Corvus like that, and you're not just doing dumb, like, Soul Weaver shit with him. It's like, oh yeah, let's just do 2 Soul Weavers and Dark Corvus because I don't feel like thinking. Which is really, really disappointing when people do that. Like, I think Dark Corvus is crazy fun when you do fun shit like this with him. But, hey, there you go. And we could have probably gotten this done a little bit faster, but, oh, good old Conqueror Lilias just had to get her fucking S3 and all that other shit back. So, this just takes unnecessarily longer, because I didn't have my Iseria S2 earlier to do this. So now we're just running out the clock. We're just running out the clock until you die. But, yeah, that's pretty much this one right here, so nothing going on. Let's have a drink, everybody. Make sure you raise your glasses, get your drink of choice, get your drugs of choice, do whatever it is that you want to do. Get whatever you got to get fucked up so you can enjoy life. You're playing Epic 7 after all. You have to be happy somehow. Ah, delicious life-giving water. So, that's the end of this first round. And I quite frankly can't remember what the fuck is next, but let's find out together, shall we? Okay, so this one, I brought Spirit Eye Celine because I honestly thought that Adin was going to be fast. And I had no idea if Zahhak was going to be able to kill her. So I hesitated for just a second, but I was like, well, I'm already here, let's fucking go for it. And lo and behold, the Savior Adin was just like, it was a typical Adin. It was probably like 200 speed or something. So, yeah, congratulations, the fight's already over. So, if the Adin was fast, she would have gone into my Sinji, but Sinji would have had immortality. Oh, but Lucent, what if the Savior Adin was also based as fuck and had like a metric shit ton of fucking damage and was 270 or some shit and went before your Sinji? Well, I see, that's where Spirit Eye Celine comes in. Spirit Eye Celine and Sinji is such a fucking based pair. It's so fun. Because if Sinji goes down, and you still like haven't had your your Spirit Eye touched at all, you can just revive the Sinji, and you can use that immortality that you give the Sinji that you revived with to still do like anti-revive shenanigans. It's fucking great. But that was that Guild War. I hope you enjoyed it. It was kind of a very long Guild War. I mean, hey, what can you do? A lot of people are really starting to tank down. Quite frankly, I don't blame them. I fucking hate cleave. I've always hated cleave. I've thought speed cleave and cleave shit in general was the stupidest fucking shit in this game. I've hated it since the beginning of the game. I've always liked playing more standard play or reactive play. So that's really what I do. I don't like to rely on turn one, and also SG just shot themselves in the foot with cleave gameplay because speed RNG exists. Speed RNG is the dumbest fucking concept ever in like the history of fucking ever. Oh, but it adds variability, like variety, and okay, yeah, shut the fuck up. If I have a unit that's like 208 and I have a unit that's 210. 210 should always go first before the 208. That shit should never be fucking random. It just shouldn't. Because that's how you have your shit tuned. But no, you have to tune shit in the term of like 10 speed or some shit. It's fucking retarded. But anyway, that's just me ranting about dumb shit. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a good one. And please see me on the next one. Have a good day, y'all.